Albert guy, he was strange. We'd walk into his room, and it smelled like a combination of boiled eggs and human blood. Just terrible. I always knew something was wrong with him. And that paddle with needles coming out of it, I didn't know what he used that for.
I thought it was really weird when he came and asked me if he could borrow 5 chef's knives.
Yeah, I've seen Mr. Kaler around, and he's, ever since I first met him, just had some weird vibes. Just could never trust my kids around him. They even got a little creeped out just looking at a picture of him. Definitely something going on with that guy.
Albert Fish hired Edward Budd, who was a farmer, only looking for a victim. Budd invited Fish over for dinner one night. Fish went to dinner planning to kill and mutilate Edward. However, after arriving, he spotted Edward's younger sister and quickly changed his mind. Fish then kidnapped and killed Gracie. Shortly after, Gracie's family received a letter explaining how Gracie was killed. The letter contains many graphic details, but here's just an example. On June 3rd, 1928, I called you at 406 West 15th Street and brought you my pot cheese and strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat on my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her. On the pretense of taking her to a party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Winchester I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. Then I hid in the closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry and tried to run down the stairs. I grabbed her and she said she would tell her mama. First I stripped her naked. How did she kick, bite, and scratch? I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take the meat to my rooms, cook, and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her though. I could have if I wished. She died a virgin.
Just could never trust my kids around him.
In the letter, he also describes how he killed Billy Gaffney. He tied him up and beat him to death. He later admitted to drinking his blood and making a stew out of his body parts. Albert Fish first found his love for human flesh while he was in China. When he returned to New York, that's when he started his killing spree by taking children and eating them. When Albert Fish was caught and was questioned, he was oddly calm and reserved. He admitted that he liked to inflict pain on himself and on children, especially boys. He liked to write and send obscene letters, clearly shown earlier. Fish had also made a claim that he had killed and eaten at least one child from every state in the U.S. After confessing to about 100 murders of children, Albert Fish was executed in the electric chair on January 16, 1936.